Hey everybody, it's Jack Rita. I'm a board game designer and I like to make custom expansions for my favorite games that I didn't design. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about something I've made for Galaxy Trucker, and it's called Dreadnaughts. And I've got it loaded up here in Tabletop Simulator. I've made 6 of these, so they're extra large boards. But I do want to direct your attention here because I do have these in real life. They're massive. It's a giant ship. That's one of them. Here's another one. I have 6 of them. So I have all 6 of them loaded up in TTS because it's a little bit easier for me to manage it. So let's start in. This was the first one that I designed. So the DN in the middle is for Dreadnought. So it's basically 75 possible tiles that you can put on these ships. So they're enormous, and if everybody has one, that's a lot of tiles. So as a result, I actually have a second copy of Galaxy Trucker, and I have not all, but I have a lot of the basic tiles from that, and I've drawn little hash marks on the sides of the tiles. So I only add those tiles if I'm playing with Dreadnoughts. And I also use a lot of the custom tiles, which I've done some other videos, and I will link to those videos in the description. But you do need more tiles, and I really only break these out with people who are at least a little bit familiar with some of the extra custom expansion tiles that I've made. And of course, I am using all of the other expansions as well for their tiles too. But this is a real big ship. This was the first design that I did for a Dreadnought, very basic. But you'll notice that on the top uh, and the bottom, there aren't enough spaces for just 2 dice. So you're 2 to 12. So there's little gaps. Now you can do it on the sides for like laser blasts and asteroids and meteors and whatnot that can hit the ship from the side. That's easy. But the front and the back, so what I've done is I also have a custom die, and it's basically like a left, right, center die. So if you do roll, let's say you rolled a 6, and you're coming at this here. Let's tilt up a little bit and go in here. So you've rolled a 6, and you've got stuff coming in here. You're actually going to roll the left, right, center to see where it's actually going to go. Is it going to go down here if you roll left, center, right, and that is how that works. And I have some effects that I can add into the adventure decks for the Dreadnoughts so that they can let you pick. You know, if you want to, you can decide. If you roll a 6, you decide where it goes. So you don't even roll the die. So that was the first one that I did. The second one that I made is this one here, which was inspired by the Battlestar Galactica, the Cylon ship. So it's a very crude rendering of it. It's hard to do in 2D, but you know, if you know, then you know. And it's still basically 75 possible tiles, and so it's just a different design of a ship. Um, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So then I was like, all right, well, I definitely want to be able to have more players. So I decided I needed to make some more. So I did one that was just really bonkers. It has no clear design. I just wanted it to kind of be all over the place and still have the same number of possible tiles. So that's how that one turned out. Then I did this one here is Dreadnought number 4, and this one is actually a lot of fun to play with, but the you can see these sections here and here a little bit vulnerable, only 2 tiles deep. But again, they got the left, right, center, so it's actually a lot harder to break these ships up than it might look. This one, however, uh, was the 5th design that I did, and yeah, this one, it's the Borg cube. Not really, but that's what I call it. It's it's definitely a little more vulnerable. But again, if you lose this one on here, the chances of you hitting this exact one over here from either direction still not very high. So I was fine with it. And then I did the spiral design. just because I felt like doing a sixth Dreadnought. So that was the design I came up with for this one. So all of them, you'll notice, have got the space for two tiles for the insurance or for setting aside during building. Um, the the other thing that I've done with the Dreadnoughts is, especially with newer players who maybe aren't as familiar with all of the special tiles, is we use the alternate build mode that you can do in the app, and that is where you're taking turns and you're spending points. So I've made physical tokens for the points. It uses basically the same system. You're spending a certain amount to reveal tiles and a certain amount to basically buy them. And you can attach them right away or stick them into the insurance slot. And and that way the tiles are coming up. There's not, you're not doing this frantic race to grab tiles and you're like, whoa, I got to look this up. What does this do? We can all discuss it. So it takes longer. And because you're doing a 75 tile, this is a long, drawn out process. It becomes an epic game. So epic game with Dreadnaughts of Galaxy Trucker, and I'm fine with that. And I let people know, hey, if we want to do this, we're going to be playing this for 2 or 3 hours, most likely. And we'll use some of the crazy cards for the custom cards I've done for adventures as well, like the X deck and some of the other variants. It works well because it's an easier pace. It's not the crazy fast build, which I do love about Galaxy Trucker. But if you're using a lot of the new tiles, it's easier this way to just do a slow build and then see how the ships do on the adventures. Yeah, it's definitely bananas, but I like that. I'm looking forward to trying to run an event somewhere where people come in and teach them how to play it with the Dreadnaughts, and then we do a game. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of the Dreadnought design and the idea of a 3-hour game of Galaxy Trucker where you're slowly building your ships up to 75 tiles. I think maybe what I might also consider doing is a slow build for 1, maybe 2 rounds, and then you've had a chance to learn the tiles, and then the last round, third round at least, is free for all. We're just flipping the tiles over. You need a pretty big table though, because these are really big. They are very large. They're like basically the doormat sized pad, neoprene mat for throwing some custom art on there. So that is it for this one, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.